Welcome back to the Soul Sisters podcast. We're so happy that you're here because it is the spring equinox, one of our very favorite times of year. And we're so excited to talk to you all today about this time of renewal and rebirth and transition and change. But before we get into all of that, we are going to be starting a new tradition here on the Soul Sisters podcast. And so before we dive into every topic, we are going to dip into the BFB. And what BFB stands for is breath for balance. So as we enter our podcast, we're all going to take breath for balance together, and then we will dive into our topic and further close out with a short meditation. So I hope you enjoy these changes as we move forward. Let us know what you think as more episodes come out. So before we dive into our topic of spring equinox, let's take a BFB, everybody. Ready? Inhale and exhale. Let it out. Take a few more inhales and exhales if you like. Get centered, get ready. We're excited to talk to you today. Maybe roll your neck around. Oh, yeah. All right. Hi, Liz. Happy to see you. Oh, yeah. So let's dive into the energy of spring and the spring equinox because I'm feeling it.
Yeah, me too. Spring typically symbolizes a time of renewal, rebirth, or birth, spring chickens and hens and all that, a transition of seasons. So there's really a lot going on in this time. I had a yoga class last week in the morning, and the yoga instructor brought up, how spring can be extremely tumultuous, as in it might snow one day, it may rain, it may be really sunny and warm, it may do all of those things within an hour, which is exactly what happened in that yoga class. I got to watch the rain pelt the window, and then snow came and it lightly covered the foothills where I live, and then the sun came out and it was almost melted by the time I was walking back to my house. So just getting to really see spring in action was really powerful and kind of really influenced me, I think, for this upcoming spring. So I'm wondering how you're feeling as we move into this time, Em, and everyone else, if you ever want to share with us.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think how cool is it that that was your prompt in that yoga class, and then as the class was happening, right? Like, I just think that's incredibly cool that you got to see all those different of weather. I'm feeling good as this change comes. I know Alyssa and I both last week just had quite a week. Just talk about tumultuous, right? I was really low last week, probably the lowest I've been since October when my dog was sick. And to no one's surprise, it was because I was afraid of my dog being sick again. So it's pretty low last week, and I was really just feeling like that shift from the full moon that we got, and being greatly affected by that, and like a lack of sleep because of worry. And then as we felt this change going into spring, I almost felt it day by day. Like, I woke up on Monday and I was like, I feel a little bit better today. And then I woke up on Tuesday and I was like, oh, I feel really good today. And I dove back into my yoga practice, which I've been neglecting, which felt great. And it was really great to practice some grounding and be able to do that outside with some like vitamin D on my face. And then, as the week went on, we got to Wednesday. Now we're here. It's Thursday. It's the spring equinox. And I woke up like full blown crackhead this morning. Like, it's here. We've done it. So I'm feeling the shift. I'm feeling the change. It feels good in comparison to last week, but sometimes change can be a little bit hesitant for me. I'm not someone that embraces it quite as much as you do. How are you feeling with the change?
I have some clients that I meet with sometimes monthly, sometimes weekly. And a few of my clients this week were like, I'm just feeling so weird, like just unnatural, like I'm used to feeling. And I thought about it and I was like, well, it is the full moon, it was yesterday. And they like one of the people like quickly Googled that to like confirm. I was like, we are about 70% water in our bodies. So the tides are, drawn out by the moon. And this is not any hippy dippy information. This is like science facts here. And so I think that I'm also feeling that. But really was struggling, it was just kind of hard to pull myself out of it. And that happens sometimes. So I was just trying to give myself some grace, got into this new video game, which has been for better and for worse. Coral Island, shout out. But I'm also feeling a lot better today. Like woke up, did some chores, like really just kind of like got some stuff done on my little to-do list. So I think it's a good time to be here and to be kind of having this conversation. I'm excited and yet I'm just like so calm today, which I'm really grateful for. Yeah.
So what a great display of different types of reactions to change. Like I'm feeling the change. I'm like, oh my God, I'm energized. What are we doing? Da, da, da. And Alyssa's just like, God, I feel good. I feel calm. So I think it's embracing change in whatever way it comes to you that is the most important. Also, you said did you say you're feeling like the tide of change? I think you used the word tide. I can't get the word tide out of my head after you said it. All I can think of is the tide is high and I'm holding on. Oh my God.
I was hoping
really
today.
the bloodlining of different song lyrics. So I apologize. But yeah, I think diving into how we embrace change, and in what ways can we practice self-awareness? Because I know for me, typically change is not something I welcome, but when I am at like one of my lowest lows and I can feel that shift, I'm like, oh my God, please, like I need a change. And then other times I'm so routine in the fact of like, I would love to say that I am an easy go with the flow person, but I'm not. I love a list. I love a calendar. I love color coordination. I want to check things off and do them in that way in my day-to-day life. So sometimes change is really hard for me, and I know that. And I think that it's all about the different ways that we practice that level of self-awareness when change is coming towards us. That's really important.
Yeah, I love plays on words sometimes. Not even plays on words, but just like reflecting on how we use our words. So when I think of the word embrace, it's like, oh, I have to give this change a big hug and like just welcome it in here with like ribbons and bows and banners. But maybe it's like, I'm just going to allow change. Like, I'm just going to let it happen and like be here with it and let it roll by, rather than like deny it, reject it. Because you can still be, your type A that you want to be and still accept and allow the changes to come. So maybe even just sometimes like, let me reframe, let me reflect, let me think about this transition and how I want to just like move with it or just allow it and watch it kind of pass by. You can prepare for change. Is there any way that you prepare for change, Em?
Yeah, if I see change coming, for sure. I think I take a lot of, as someone who's a planner, I take a lot of time to like mentally prepare for that type of change. So if I know my weekly routine is going to be thrown off, like I take some mental time to think about, okay, what are the things that I do during the week that are non-negotiable? Like, what are we going to get done even though this change is happening? And how am I still going to make those things happen? So for me, being prepared for change is super important. It's when the unexpected change comes that I struggle the most, because seeing a change come to you, noticing like, okay, I'm going to start a new job today, or today I'm going to have guests in my house, or usually on Mondays I go to the gym with Hannah, but we canceled. So how am I going to fill my morning? That kind of expected change I deal with a little bit better than I do the unexpected change. If you flip that around, it's like I lost my job, which has happened to me multiple times over the last 5 years. Probably not in the last year and a half, knock on wood. Let's not jinx myself. But thinking about how that change came, I reflect back and think how much time I feel as though I wasted because I was so busy focusing on the fact of like, oh my God, I lost my job. Oh my God, I lost my job. Oh my God, I lost my job. Instead of like, look at all this free time I have. I should go make art or go do yoga or go like just roll around outside and be with my dog. And instead, I was so hyper focused on that little piece. So I think, there's opportunity there for anyone out there that's like me, where unexpected change is really hard. And what's our perspective on the unexpected change? So if you are someone that lost your job and you're hyper focused on getting a new one, it's not going to happen overnight. Applying is a process. And I wish I would have been a little bit more accepting of that in the moment, because looking back, I'm like, God, I should have filled my free time with like things that make me happy because it's out of my control. That's just something that I definitely work through on my own time for sure. What do you do to prepare for change or embrace change?
I think it's interesting kind of what you were just talking about, like unexpected versus expected change, when it's like really the only thing that we can rely on is the seasons, right? At least here in the United States, like we are so fortunate. We have spring, summer, fall, winter in that order, continuously. And it's so expected, yet the changes that we experience within it are extremely unexpected at times. Sometimes I forget that, a full moon is coming or something. And it's like, whoa, why am I feeling this way? Or like, the past week or so when I was like pretty low, I wasn't thinking like, oh, wow, spring's about to come or anything like that. I was just like, oh, I'm just here, like just getting through it. Like I'm just, doing the best I can. There's no preparation to be done except to allow myself to, maybe seek some grace. And, if I'm not feeling something, I'll cancel. Or, if I'm feeling called to do something else, like I'm going to go do that thing. And so, I think we can prepare for change. And I think sometimes we can let go of some of our expectations. So I went on a little tangent there, but like, how do I prepare for change? Very similarly with some of the stuff you said, like the things I know I need to do. I think once we get older, at least, like I know if my laundry's piling up and I'm not doing it for a really long time, like, that's a sign. Like maybe I should do that chore. Or like if I'm, going to take my vitamin and like everywhere around my sink is just covered with all my shit that I just throw everywhere. It's like, oh, wow, this is kind of like a little bit of a sign that like I need to do some of the things that, I usually do. So I think preparing for change for me can just look like, oh, I got to stick to the stuff that I know will keep me kind of a little bit grounded while I'm like freaking out, maybe ruminating thoughts like, oh gosh, am I going to lose my job? Is the funding going to get cut for this thing, et cetera, et cetera. So like focusing on what we can control in that moment. Because yeah, like with the seasons changing, we can control the knowing that it's happening, but we can't control that those leaves are starting to grow. We can't control that all the wind is starting to really pick up. So yeah, interesting perspective.
Yeah, I think it's even interesting where you went in terms of those signs, because it kind of comes back, not kind of, it does. It comes back to that self-awareness piece a little bit in times of change, or even just in times of stress. Maybe nothing's changing, but you're just having time. It made me think of something that my husband said to me recently, which was, I can always tell where your mental health is based off of the state of our house. Because typically I am someone that likes things to go where they go. And I don't want dishes in my sink, and I don't want laundry piling up. And I don't want, when I go to bed at night, my blankets are folded, and I don't want my living room to be a disaster. But if we look back at last week, none of those things happened. And it was, it was a wreck. Like, if anyone in my life besides my husband had walked into my home last week, they would have been like, what the fuck is going on here? So I think it's super interesting that you called that out. And I'm interested to know if you're willing to share. And I'm happy to share as well. What are some of the things that you notice about yourself when you can see, like, oh, it's a sign? Like, for me, it's when the house is a wreck, or when face starts to break out in certain areas. So, like, what are your signs to yourself?
Well, first of all, my husband, oh my God, love to hear it. Love to hear it. Oh
she's never gonna let it die, guys. She's never gonna let that die.
I just love it. Yeah, and it's funny too, because you find your soul people, you find your folks that you connect with, and like have these conversations. Like, I too, my face has broken out to hell and high water. Like, it's not looking good over here. I wore makeup to cover it up today. I sometimes, it depends with showering though, because like sometimes I'm just thriving and I'm dirty as all hell, and other times I'm like, oh man, Alyssa, you gotta get it together. So sometimes when I'm like not feeling mentally great, maybe I'm taking more showers because I want to, like, cleanse myself and like try to get myself together. So that kind of varies, and that, there's not like, oh, this is the way that I am when I'm struggling. It's just like being aware and like having these conversations with others, with yourself, on like, what does it look like? I got back from, visiting home and seeing Em, and we had a self-care day, which I'd love to talk about for a moment, but I got to work and was just so drained. I had just nothing to give. I took the first day off when I came home and did not plan on doing that. Next day, I went into work and was like, I'm just making stuff. I'm making art today. And I think usually we expect to like be thriving and like ready to create. And I was only making clay and pottery because I was just low and I just wanted something good to I just needed to be present with myself and like allow myself to feel my feelings and just like make something. And so, yeah, that's how it was for me this time.
Yeah. There's an interesting parallel there that you mentioned though, where it's sometimes I shower because I need to cleanse myself and like I need to feel better. And sometimes I don't shower because I'm really low, or I don't shower because I'm thriving and I don't want to like fucking take the time to do that. Same thing where it's like sometimes I make pottery because it makes me really happy. And also sometimes I make pottery because I just need to do something with my hands. Right. And so I think that presents an interesting parallel and a great reminder that no one knows you better than you do. I know for a fact that one of my things that happens for me when I'm feeling that stress, or like when that change is overwhelming, I don't move as much as I should. So you heard me say at the beginning of the episode, like I got back into my yoga practice. Well, I've been neglecting it because I've been really low, right? Or I just don't move my body the way that I should. And equally, I can tell the difference between I'm not showering because I'm having too much fun. I don't want to take the time to do it, just get dirty again. The next day, I'm going camping, I'm out on my kayak, whatever, and I'm not getting into the shower because I don't want to move. I can tell the difference. And no one, it's just a great reminder and a great parallel to look internally with and think like, okay, am I not getting into the shower because I'm low and I don't want to move and that's effort I don't have? Or am I not getting into the shower because life's pretty good right now and I'm distracted? So like it's thinking about those items because they can go both ways. You can make art when you're so happy and inspired, and you can also make art when you are raging pissed off and or sad. Depends. Can go both ways. So that's a great point that you bring up there for sure.
Yeah, it's all in kind of our perspective in that moment. And it can be really intensely valuable to have like non-negotiables at baseline. So Tuesday nights, I work the whole day. And my non-negotiable is I go to yoga in the evening. When is that a negotiable? Well, because it's a non-negotiable, when I'm deciding not to go, it's like, am I really fucking sad and I want to do nothing? Okay, that's fine. But know that you've skipped a non-negotiable. Or
Mhm.
like this past Tuesday, went to Casa Bonita, didn't go to yoga. That was like, I had something fun to do. It was a negotiable, and that's fine. But I think it can be really powerful to have some of these non-negotiables where it's like, I do shower on Thursdays. Like that's my little self-care day.
Mhm.
Why would I not do that? It's okay if I don't, but you know, it makes us kind of look inwards whenever we're actively like skipping something or missing something. And it's definitely nice to have someone to hold you accountable, like your husband, who was like, yeah, the house was looking kind of crummy last week. How you doing? Or like, oh, Caleb says, Alyssa, you didn't go to yoga this Tuesday. What's going on? Like, why are you on the couch? Do you want to talk about something? So it's nice to have like these dependability buddies as well as like things that people expect you to do. So when you're not doing them, they can be like, what the hell? What's up?
Amen. Two things, a statement and then a question for you. My statement is for all of you people out there who are about to come for me and say, well, why doesn't Troy just pick up the fucking house himself? Because he is one man and he can only do so much. And I am a heaping sack of garbage when I'm sad and I just keep making it worse. So please don't come for him. He does his best. Leave him alone. Secondly, what are your non-negotiables when you are going through a time of change or that tumultuous feeling? Like, what are your non-negotiables? What are the things that regardless of how low you are, how anxious you are, excited you are, no matter whatever's going on, what are the non-negotiables? Where do you go?
I think that's the part where it's like, if I'm trying to give myself grace, like I'm gonna negotiate. I don't have that. Like my non-negotiables are what I said, and like sometimes I don't do them, but like things that I do when I'm struggling that really help that I know I can lean on. Maybe not necessarily like a non-negotiable because that sounds kind of tough when you think about it that way, but like I will, and this really kind of goes into, preparing for a change, preparing for spring. I will light candles. I will light my, it starts with a P, my
Palo
little
Santo.
stick. Thank you. I'll light my Palo Santo and make the house smell yummy and try to think like something positive. I will, try to go to bed at a time that feels reasonable because when I'm struggling, like I'm not really kind of like in tune with that as much. So just like being aware of that. But I don't know. I try to give myself a little grace in this day and age, and I just try to find like the stuff that I'm stoked on. Like for instance, right now, I have my little egg containers filled with dirt and seeds, and I'm starting to like prepare to make my garden, and that just brings me like the most immense amount of joy, and like a little bit of rebellion, like haha society, like I'm growing my crops hopefully. So just little things like that that make me excited and bring me joy. What do you feel like you have like hardcore non-negotiables?
Yes, well, just a slight shift in personality type here. You can definitely tell. You can definitely tell that we approach life differently, but that's what makes it so great because I think that I need a little bit of you in me, right? I need that little bit of grace because sometimes it's really easy for me to get hard on myself and say like, why didn't you do this today, right? But I will say something that is non-negotiable for me always, regardless of what headspace I am. I need to be left the fuck alone for sure. Like that is just unless I am reaching out, asking you, just leave me alone, right? When I'm in a great mood, when I'm having a great day, when everything's on, I still need hour and a half of no one speaking to me in the morning. Leave me alone. There's a point in my evening where you're just not here back from me because I'm done for the day. And then especially when I am going through something, a change happened unexpectedly, anything like that, like anybody that knows me well knows that I need time to decide what's going to happen and what I feel like, and to look internally myself before I verbalize it with you. So just leave me alone. So that's definitely a non-negotiable for me, and that's always going to exist, just for because it's within my power. It's something I can control, and it makes me feel good. I need that inward looking. So non-negotiable for sure. Alone time, whether it's 30 minutes or a whole fucking day, alone time, 100%.
And learning how to like express that and ask for it is certainly an art, if someone's like really concerned about you or something. But as we enter spring, like some offerings of things that you can do to kind of like maybe pull yourself out of this like, cycle of winter, cycle of hold up, hobbitism. I just made that up, I think. It's like taking a walk, like if you need to be, if you want to take a walk with someone else, now is the time where your city walk will entail a cute little weed that is a color, green and maybe something else if you're lucky. And to just notice those things, I think to me, watching spring change, like spring, watching it happen is just like one of the greatest gifts that we don't have to really do much about. We just have to appreciate it and like love it, and maybe take a photo of it and share it with someone you love. So that's just something I really look forward to. And in the spring, summer, fall, not really winter so much. Like I go to the Botanic Gardens maybe once a week, and I'm really fortunate I can do that at the mental health center I work at. I take people and we go there. But if you get the chance to like do the same thing once a week, whether it's the same walk around your block, or you look at the same spot of grass in your near your driveway or something, like it can be such a treat to ground and be present, and to really like get to be a part of nature as you like were meant to be and as you are. So
yeah,
non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. Create a tradition for yourself if you want to put a word to it. There's a reason that we love traditions around the holidays, because they fill us with joy. There's something we look forward to. So create traditions for yourself. Also, I encourage you to go back and listen to our episode on nature therapy, because there's a lot of really great tools in there as well. I also, if you care to hear them, I have some specific, Alyssa shaking her head like, yes, tell me. I have some specific springtime, spring equinox rituals, a little bit of, hippy dippy witchy that comes out of me that I just love. First things first, just acknowledge our elements, right? Air, fire, water, earth. Look around you, recognize that, you can utilize those elements in different ways. Air, just embrace the wind. Nothing, in my personal opinion, feels better to me than the wind on my face. Go outside or open your window, allow that air to come in and like sweep stagnant energy away for you. I know also for me, like any significant period of change, or like any significant period of energy that's about to lift, somehow, some way, the earth always tells me, and I end up getting a gust of wind right before I recognize it. It's a very interesting connection with earth. So I encourage you guys to dive into that and see if you can find it in any of these elements. Fire, fire, especially for springtime, just let it ignite your motivation. Spark a fire, make a storm, invite your friends out. A storm? A s'more. Don't make a storm. Please don't make a storm with fire. Oh my God. We do not.
You can make a big old mess in your house and then clean some of it.
Yeah. But, make a s'more, have people over, light a candle, right? Like Alyssa was saying, anything that can bring that spark of motivation and just like incubate and help ignite those dreams or those motivations that you've been hibernating all winter, super encourage you to do that. Water, which is my favorite element forever. You'll never find me touching the water if I can. Water is, it's so great for emotional renewal. There's a reason that in religious backgrounds and in religious practicings, they do baptisms with water. It's just, it gives you this opportunity to shed old patterns, right? And just like welcome more fluidity into your life. So if you can't find a body of water, get a cup of water, dump it over your head. Take a shower if it feels good, right? Something that I've really enjoyed lately is I'll be in the shower, and we all love a hot shower, but if you want to really wake up and feel that rebirth, turn it to cold. Just do it. Just do it for a couple of seconds. See if it doesn't make your day feel better. And then earth as well. Obviously, earth is something that Alyssa and I have talked about time and time again. Just allow your bare feet to feel the ground below you, and just remind yourself that like you're very much like the seeds that are sprouting in springtime, both literally and metaphorically. You are going to renew and rebirth just like those seeds, but also like, what are you wishing for? What are you looking to manifest? So those are my suggestions with the elements. I have a few more suggestions, but Liz, do you have any thoughts based off of the elements? Because I just talked for a long time.
Yeah. Well, it reminded me of our little self-care day that we had. And we we got really cold bowls of water, like put ice in the bowls of water, and we dunked our faces in cold water. And that was just so kind of renewing, resetting, if you will. We made, what do you call it? A simmer? We made
A simmer pot.
A simmer pot with different herbs, and we warmed them up, and it made the whole house smell really yummy, and we like stood over it and wafted the scents. I know we had candles going the whole time I was there. So we just like really intentionally tried to, spend some time with those elements, or like spend some time with each other in a healing way. And you can do that alone. You don't have to have a whole day about it. We could have accomplished all the things we did in an hour. We took a little like salt bath together. Our feet, we were clothed. We could have been naked. Who cares? But we weren't.
We did in fact lie naked under the red light because that shit felt good.
Yeah,
So.
we did do that. So it was, just really nice to kind of like embrace the elements in, really lovely ways together. And I think it like, made us a little closer too. And it will certainly make you closer with yourself and like your soul and your heart if you, spend that time. So that's my little 2 cents on that.
And spend it with yourself, but you can spend it with friends too if you want, but definitely take the time to spend it with yourself. That was actually a great segue into the rest of the rituals that I was going to suggest, because we did do, that simmer pot. And so something that I do suggest always for any season is a simmer pot, but specifically if you want to make one for spring is such a great time to embrace really earthy flavors and scents, I guess, and also citrus, because citrus is blossoming and in season during spring. So any citrus that you can find, I highly suggest oranges and grapefruit, but lemons and limes, if that's what you can get your hands on, those are great too. Herbs for spring, 100% lavender for peace, lavender for calm, lavender for navigating change. I'm very fortunate. I have multiple lavender bushes that grow outside of my house. If you don't have that, you can find dried lavender at Trader Joe's or really any grocery store. And most of the, what are they called? Greenhouses or farmers markets sell lavender plants now. Also, lavender essential oils also work. Other herbs that are great for spring, rosemary, which is great for multiple seasons, basil, and then mint for sure, because mint is super useful for clarity, reflection, clearing, things like that. And then I would say just I'm always a fan of cinnamon. If you've listened to past podcasts with me, you know that like every time a new month starts, I blow a fistful of cinnamon into the entrances into my home just to clear my space. So there's some great items you can add to a simmer pot. Other things that we can do, Alyssa mentioned a bath. If you are not a bath person, you can just do your feet like we did, or you can submerge completely in the bath. If you want to submerge completely in a bath and so does your friend, and you want to take turns and not do it together, you can do what Alyssa and I did. I made her sit on the toilet and talk to me while I was in the bathtub. 10 out of 10 recommend for all our friends out there. But definitely within that bath, always an Epsom salt for sure. It just does a really great job at clearing out your system, promoting that rest with the magnesium. I'm going to suggest rosemary in that bath as well, and the lavender for any type of clarity, renewal, navigating the change, etc. But you don't have to use the physical herbs. Both of those come in essential oils that you can use as well. And then I think probably the easiest and the most like common ritual that I'm going to suggest, which most people might roll their eyes at, spring cleaning. Spring cleaning is not just a thing the internet tells you to do. It is a ritual. Decluttering. It's an energetic clearing, right? And if you want to take it a step further after your spring cleaning, and then, take your Palo Santo, take your cedar stack, take your sage, and really do a smoke cleansing after that, it's so helpful to tidy up that space and physically see the refresh happen, and then the environment help declutter our minds as well. So I highly suggested for some rituals for spring, for sure.
So many good options there. Thanks. And you don't have to do them all. If you've heard one that just sounded rad, like try that one. I will say I'm not blessed to have a bathtub, so naturally I just have lavender right now and lemon in my shower as essential oils, and I'll just drip a few little drops while I'm showering, and it doesn't last the whole time, but it is really nice, and it smells really good, and just like is a ritual, just like a tiny little ritual that I have for my showers. And then like I super encourage you to like listen to your cravings, listen to yourself, listen to your impulses. I have a couple examples, so I'll just start with my grandma. She's like pretty limited in mobility. I called her the other day and I was like, "What are you doing, Gram?" She's like, "I'm wiping down my walls." I was like, "Why are you wiping your walls?" She's like, "I don't know. I just feel like I should wipe them down." And so, if you don't need to clean your whole damn house, but like if you feel called to, do something, do it. And when I'm thinking about cravings, last week my partner was like, "What do you want for dinner?" I was like, "I want like a citrusy pasta. Like I want a lemon zest pasta." And it seems like it kind of goes with the seasons a little bit. So, just listen to yourself. And if you have something that kind of feels good that you want to try, just dabble. Maybe it doesn't work for you. Maybe you have like an allergic reaction or something. Doubtful. But we are nature at our core. And so you might find the more you listen, the more you're led to craving lemon snacks and things like that as we change in the seasons. So,
Bro, I'm always craving lemon snacks. It doesn't matter the season, but especially my favorite flavor, especially in spring. I've had 2 oranges for breakfast every day for like the last 2 weeks, and I will again shout out my husband for that because he peels them for me because I am lazy. So thanks.
Texture. Nope. Just lazy.
Yeah.
We love
just literally I don't want to do it, but I want to eat the orange. And so therefore that is my one spoiled trait that I get from my husband, and I'm grateful for it. But getting back to spring, what I would say and what I would ask is, what are your favorite traditions? Think about your favorite traditions during the holidays or your favorite things to do during the summer. and apply that to this time of year, because it's a really beautiful time to reconnect with yourself. And listening to yourself, as Alyssa said, is so important. So when you're embracing all, there might not be change in your personal physical life, but there is change all around you happening in nature this time of year. So how are you going to embrace that? What do you look forward to this time of year? I asked to everyone out there, and also to you, Liz, like, spring is coming. What do you look forward to? Not coming, it's here. It's here. So what are we doing this spring?
Yeah. If you're someone listening and you're like, oh my God, my mind is so cluttered, my home is so cluttered, like I can't listen to myself, I don't know what the voice inside my head says, like, then just listen to like a little bit of what we've said, perhaps. Like just try something, and it might be easier to tune in, tune into your soul, and what's calling to you. What am I looking forward to this year? Of course, just like the flowers blooming. Yeah, I'm going to Alaska in April. I'm really jazzed about it. It's funny because I'm like going to ski some more. So, and I think that can like be, Emily kind of takes some notes for us sometimes. And we have this category, embracing change with ease, and it stresses the importance of having patience. Like change just doesn't occur overnight. Well, sometimes a bloom starts to bloom and then the snow comes, and dang, like maybe it's dead. Maybe it has to like take a little bit longer, more energy to like start to bloom and blossom. I'm going to the snow again. There will probably be few blooms up in Alaska. And so like, I have to have a little bit of patience around my spring because I'm stoked on it. And I'm also going, praying that I see some aurora borealis. Everyone, please put the vibes for me. It's like top tier bucket list. But yeah, just having like some patience. If I don't see it this time, I will in my lifetime. And so just like really embracing patience with yourself, with other people. Maybe someone you love deeply is like not wiping the walls down right now. Maybe they're like throwing mud at the walls and hoping that something happens for them, and like maybe you can be a little bit of patience for them, or offer them some of like the items that we have kind of suggested, really. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
I love that. I love that you asked like the dissection of what we're talking about today. I think it's really important to remember that these are just conversations. We're just talking back and forth. We have suggestions. We have things that we do. What works for us might not always work for everyone. And if you have suggestions, we would love to hear them. Send them our way. But also, if you like what you're hearing and you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot apply all of this, no one thinks you need to. And you shouldn't feel like you have to. You should always take things at your own pace, because again, the theme of today is embracing change with ease, and change can be really hard. So if you want to take on new practices, just like everything else, it's going to take some time, and it's going to take some motivation and dedication. And sometimes you're going to, feel like you messed it up. You didn't. It's yours. All your practices are yours. You can't mess them up because they belong to you. So I really encourage you to find the things that you're looking forward to. Maybe it's a creative idea, maybe it's a new habit, or just a deeper relationship with your health, or with yourself. And maybe, maybe it is literal seeds in a garden. I know I'm really looking forward to planting my garden this year, but I'm also just really happy that daylight savings time happened and that it's light in the morning and light in the evening. So there's lots of very small things to dissect, and it's all about finding your little pods of happiness as we embrace this new season, for sure.
And if you're, still in the darkness, like think about another time when you were really struggling. What worked for you then? You can always go to that for encouragement. I try to tell the people I work with sometimes, like, if you have something you want to do, like make it so easy that like you can do it. You can add on much harder or more intensive things as you continue. But like, if you're trying to, I don't know, smell some good smells. Like, just don't on Amazon order it, but go to the store, buy like your essential oil. Maybe you don't put it in the shower for like 5 more days, but like that's not the most difficult thing. Like if you're trying to get to the gym, maybe it's just like, I'm going to walk for 5 minutes. Maybe it's like 3 minutes, just making it like so easy that it's like, I can't not do this. Like, why would I not do this? Like, just starting like almost so minusculely small, like it can be really empowering to like do stuff that you know you can do and like make it a list or, yeah. So just go easy on yourself because someone's gotta. It's rough out here sometimes. I am watching this like eagle family that lives in California, and
Oh yeah, I
this
love them.
yeah, and like it's spring, so the weather's so tumultuous, and this eagle mommy is protecting her few little babies, and the snow's ripping and the wind is coming, and she's just hunkered down, like she's just doing the thing that she knows she can do. And I don't know, I'm just super inspired by like wildlife and their power that they hold, even when they're like these tiny creatures that are so badass. But I don't know where that sent me, but shout out to all the birds and animals that are like, getting it together this spring.
Well, now I must know the question of all questions, other than the eagles. Like, what is your springtime spirit animal? Because mine is bears, for sure. I fucking love the bears.
Yeah, they're coming out.
They're coming out. Bear butts. I can't wait to see them.
Those little puffy bear butts. Yeah, mine's for sure a bunny. I had bunnies when I was little, and they're so darn cute. And I volunteer at the Humane Society, and I literally will just go in and like look at them and like pet them a little if they'll allow me. Like, I just love a bunny, and it is the time for them to have their, I don't know what bunny babies are, their litter, whatever. But yeah, what is
bunny baby.
everyone's, yeah, spirit spring animal? I love that it's like specifically, it doesn't have to be like your spirit animal, but like what animal brings you a bunch of joy during this time, or like it's their time to kind of thrive and have some birth too.
For sure. Well, friends, before we leave you today, we are going to give you a small meditation, and we'll be doing this every episode from here on out. And it's not a long meditation, 5-7 minutes maybe. We are so grateful that you're here and listening. And if you would like to end the podcast here, we thank you for being here, but we very much encourage you to join us this sacred space to realign and reconnect. And in the name of spring, before Alyssa leads us into our ending meditation today, if you are someone who enjoys crystals, I would encourage you to grab your citrine and your rose quartz, just for attracting that abundance and really cultivating that self-love as you bloom into the new or rebirthing version of yourself this spring. So thanks for joining us, and I'll let Alyssa lead us into our closing meditation.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Sometimes it can be a challenge to like want to actually do the thing that's offered. So hope that you can. If you don't, thanks for being here. If you have your crystal, maybe you kind of rub that in your hands or set it on your body somewhere, however you find kind of comfort in the space. If you don't have a crystal like me, you can rub your hands together and create some heat and some warmth if you want. In DBT, there is something called half smiling, willing hands. Willing is like a good stubborn. Willful is like a bad stubborn, if you will, kind of like denying change, not allowing change. So half smiling, willing hands are having your hands open if you choose to do that, or just like, feeling willing for this change, and having a little smile on your face if you can, and that feels comfortable. Taking a few breaths wherever you're at if you can. And you can do this while you're doing something else or driving, or if you're, at your bakery doing a little like work or something, you can meditate where you're at. There's no right or wrong way. Just take a few breaths. Well, hello, spring. It's so nice to see you. We've been waiting for you. We've been waiting to come out and play, waiting to bask in your glorious sunshine, waiting to blossom into the powerful beings that we are meant to be. Hello, sweet friend. Thank you for landing here, choosing to celebrate or allow the arrival of spring with me. It's going to come whether we allow it or not. You're in the perfect place to honor the changing of seasons, to honor life, to reflect. Maybe reflect on the darker times. As you breathe, set a positive intention for this day. Inhale. You can set an intention for the spring. As we awaken from our winter slumber, you, myself, Mother Nature, we're faced with letting go of darkness, releasing what feels heavy, clearing away physical, mental, emotional debris, allowing ourselves to just be here now. You can take any movements that your body craves. Maybe the stillness is just the juiciest bit you can really muster right now, and that's perfect. Let us step out of the darkness during the spring equinox and into the light of unity with nature, solidarity with ourselves and others, seeking balance. As we breathe for balance, breathe for ourselves, breathe for our loved ones. Between shadow and illumination, breathing between day and night, breathing for clarity rather than uncertainty. What do you look forward to? What do you value right now? What do you choose to embrace? And whom? You may find that you feel called to tap or wiggle or dance after this, but bring yourself back to this space and time. And thank yourself for this presence, for being with yourself and with us. Thanks. See you next time.